some head trauma, something like that. Maybe his neck snaps. He dies immediately, so it's got to be pretty traumatic, you know? Dead on impact. Oh my god. Yeah,
Terrible.
So his soul's on this conveyor belt thing now because of the
Disney movie, everyone. Hey guys, Dennis Mockin here. Thanks for hanging out. Today we're reacting to a pitch meeting from Screen Rant. This is Soul. So I just watched this movie, but I'm sure there's plenty that Ryan is going to talk about that I completely missed. And what I'm going to try to do is not talk over him so we could sort of absorb everything that he has to say. Then at the end, I'll give my overall opinion and talk about some things that he may or may not have missed. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please go over and support Screen Rant and Ryan George's channels. I'll leave both of those links along with a link to the original video in the description. And if you enjoy wasting your day, it means a world to me if you get that like button, some love, and subscribe for more daily reactions. Without any further ado, let's go.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. This one's gonna be called Soul. Oh, pretty reliable subcompact crossover SUV. Okay. That's not... No, we're gonna follow this guy named Joe Gardner, right? Does he work for Kia? Not that kind of soul, sir. So Joe works as a music teacher, and he gets offered a full-time position. Oh, good for him. No, it's not. Oh, because he dreams of being a jazz musician, and he has an audition to be in this legendary jazz band. Okay, so that's a bad, stable job offering. Okay. Yeah, and he does this audition, and he just does great, so he gets a chance to perform later that night. Oh, good for him. That's great news. Yeah, so then he's walking home, he's all happy, and he dies. What? He dies. He falls into an open manhole, and he's deceased now. He's a dead guy. What do you mean? Well, he fell and died immediately, so probably some head trauma, something like that. Maybe his neck snaps. He dies immediately, so it's got to be pretty traumatic, you know? Dead on impact. Oh my god. Yeah,
Terrible.
So his soul's on this conveyor belt thing now because of the
Disney movie, everyone.
fatal trauma. Right, okay. What is happening? Well, he's a dead guy now, and his soul's headed to the great beyond, so he starts freaking out. Yeah, understandable. And there are a bunch of other souls on their way there, too. Just anyone who died on Earth in that instant. Well, they must all be freaking out. No, literally all the other souls are cool with this. They're all just pretty much chilling. Not one other soul is freaking out about being dead.
They're at peace, which is something that has been known to happen for some people. When they know they're about to die, they become at peace, and they become more accepting of the inevitable.
No, sir. And so Joe is panicking, but he's stuck on this conveyor belt thing, and it's moving. Well, it's going to be tough for him to get out of the afterlife system for bringing people to the great beyond. Actually, it's going to be super easy.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah, see, he just kind of pushes through this force field barrier thing, and he escapes. He just pushes.
So it's not really a force field, then.
His way out? He does, yeah. And so then this soul-counting accountant, Terry, is like, that's weird. The soul count is off. That never happens. So nobody that's ever died has panicked and tried to push their way out. Yeah, no, guess not. So then Joe...
Because everybody else is at peace. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Falls into this place called The Great Before. And what's that place? It's this place where these Picasso drawing soul counselors prepare souls for life on Earth by giving them personalities. It's both very peaceful and hauntingly disturbing. Oh. So Joe finds out about this thing called the Earth Portal, where the souls can go once they have their Earth Pass. So what does Joe do? Well, he pretends to be a mentor, which are these people that help souls find their spark, which is what they need to get an Earth Pass. Okay. So he goes to this orientation seminar, and he learns all about how souls are given their personalities. Like, one of them is a manipulative megalomaniac who's intensely opportunistic. Why would this place intentionally make people like that? Unclear. So then Joe gets mistaken for this Nobel Prize-winning child psychologist because he took his name tag. So what happens to that doctor's actual soul? Probably best not to think about that. So Joe gets assigned this soul named 22. And what's 22's deal? Well, 22 doesn't want to go to Earth, and none of her famous mentors have been able to help her find her spark. Oh, famous mentors, huh? Yeah, like she's had Mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, Marie Antoinette, who is just ahead, by the way, because she was decapitated. Right. So souls carry their fatal wounds with them?
I even think that's terrible, dude!
Does that mean that Abe Lincoln has a big hole in the back of his head? Oh, yeah, I guess. It's gonna be a fun cutaway gag, though. Oh, cutaway gags with horrifying implications are tight. Anyway, so...
No.
Then they go to this place called the Hall of Everything to try to find 22's spark. Okay. And Joe tries to give her some pizza, like maybe she'll be into cooking or baking, but she can't smell or taste it. So she's like, meh, she can't taste or smell. Now see, the whole place is like hypothetical, so senses don't exist. But they're looking at each other, right? Using their sense of sight. Dang it. So anyway, then they go to this place called the Zone. And this is where people go when they get into like a flow state or if they're meditating. Oh, interesting. And so they go talk to this guy Moonwind who's in there. And how did he get there? In a way that hopefully only parents will understand. Gotcha. And so his body is actually physically in New York, just a couple of blocks away from where Joe's body is. He could have been anywhere on the planet, but he's a couple of blocks away from them. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, thank God. So then he does this ritual thing, and then this is gonna turn into a body swap comedy for quite some time. What? What? Yeah, Joe's soul goes into a cat's body and 22 goes into Joe's body. Well, what happens to the cat? Oh, well, we're gonna cut away and show that the cat's soul is headed to the great beyond, so it's gonna be pretty funny. The main characters just killed a cat, but in a funny way. So then Joe and 22, they start freaking out a bit. Isn't Joe's body, like, severely injured? No, he's all good now, but he fell so hard that he died. Well, technically his soul is in a holding pattern, but yeah. Right, so he's gotta have like a cracked skull or a broken bone. No, he's all good now. Okay. So then they go see that conveniently placed Moonwind guy, and he's like, I can do a ritual to put Joe's soul back into his body before the big jazz show tonight. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Yeah, and so then Joe, as a cat, tries to give himself a haircut, but he messes it up because he's a cat. Why would he try to do that? I don't know. The guy wears a hat all the time. I'm just filling up some screen time. Oh, okay. And then later he rips his pants, so he's got to get his pants fixed. And that just kind of filling up the midsection of this movie. I don't know. I feel like that Great Before place sounded really interesting. Maybe.
Well, that happened so he could have that conversation with his mother.
Maybe we could spend more time there. Yeah, no, instead we're gonna spend a lot of time on this body swap, haircut, pants ripping thing. Well, okay then. Anyway, so eventually it's time for them to go back to the Great Before, but now 22 likes being on Earth. Oh. But then they do go back and they realize that she has her Earth pass now. Oh, so her spark was living on Earth? Something like that, yeah. So then Joe uses the Earth pass to go back into his body. Oh, good for him. So he does his jazz show. He does, and it goes great, but then he feels empty inside. Oh, samesies. Yeah, he thought it was supposed to be his purpose, but then he looks at all this random stuff that 22 collected when she was him, and he realizes that enjoying life is what's important. Nice, nice, nice. So he plays some jazz and gets back into the zone and tracks her down. Oh, he does? Yeah, and then he basically sacrifices himself so she can go down to Earth and live a life. Oh, a very generous sacrifice. Right, and now he's back on that conveyor belt elevator thing, and now he's at peace. Wow. And then one of those soul counselors pops up and is like, hey, we decided to give you another chance on Earth because you were inspiring. Oh, we're kind of backing away from that sacrifice. Okay. Yeah, well, it's a nicer ending this way. That's true, and it is an important message overall. Yeah. Sure. Wait, what do you mean? Well, I think it's important for kids to understand that, you know, their loved ones that died, first of all, didn't try hard enough to come back and also weren't inspiring enough. Oh, that's not a very nice message. Okay, so what do you think? Well, it sounds like an interesting movie. I'm just kind of wondering what happened to the body of that dead cat. All right, well, actually, when Joe goes back into his body, we're gonna see that the cat is back too. What? I mean, they say the cats have 9 lives, so it kind of works. So we're saying that whenever a cat loses one of its 9 lives, its soul is replaced by a completely different soul. Like the body keeps living, but the soul is just replaced entirely. Oh, please stop finding horrifying implications in my cutaway jokes. Are we gonna explain the 9 lives thing, or the cat's just gonna be alive again? The second option. Feels like people are gonna have some questions about that. I don't think so, but maybe, but probably. Well, if they do, we can explain it online or something, but they're gonna get it.
Oh my god. That was terrible! Soul plot hole explained. How did a cat survive the ending? Pete Docter's Soul offers a compelling look at Pixar's idea on the meaning of life, but the entire plot hinges on a major plot hole involving the cat, because yeah, we did see that, right, to where his personality went into the cat, and the cat, you know, went away, and then later on, it's just there again, so we don't really get to sort of think, like, because he said the whole 9 lives thing, or maybe they were able to retrieve the soul that came back from the cat. They could have easily explained it in that scene there with the Jerry, but just decided not to. And then going even further onto his point of, apparently, if you were inspiring, or you were inspiring enough, you get to go back. Apparently that was a thing. So if you weren't as inspiring as this one guy, you get to go to the great beyond. And what was really noticeable to me, I'm don't know why he didn't bring it up, but every time like each soul went into that thing, it was almost like one of those like bug zapper. It made that noise each and every time a soul came in there. So are we left to believe that souls, they go into the great beyond and they're just okay with just being completely zapped, and whatever happens after that happens? I'm not entirely sure. And there was this thing towards the end, because he said his whole purpose was, you know, to really just enjoy life more. But I thought there was really more to that, because the way he was able to get her Earth Pass was to really to inspire her. And being a music teacher, he inspired lots of people, like with that one girl who played the trombone, which, you know, neither here nor there, but when I was younger, I played the trombone. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. So the fact that I was able to see it in this movie and see them hold it like the right way, because a lot of the people in different commercials and TV shows tend to hold it like this, which is not the right way. But I'm getting off into a weird little tangent. But I thought really the whole point of him was, considering how inspiring he was to this one lost soul, that was his purpose, that what he was meant to do, was to continue to inspire and to continue to do that. And what I thought was going to happen was that they were going to have the next scene, like once the Jerry sends him back to Earth, and he takes that walk down the steps, that he was just going to go over to his job, to his school job, and start enjoying that and start trying to or continuing to inspire his students, but they just sort of ended it there, which was super weird. Overall, I thought the movie's message was pretty decent. Obviously, we're gonna completely get off his back about the whole not being inspiring enough to have a second life sort of thing, and we're gonna completely forget about what happened to this cat, and if it was replaced with another soul, or the soul came back from the great beyond, and now the cat's fine again. Because if you saw the way the cat went back to the original person's owner, because that was a therapy cat for him. So the cat went over and jumped onto the owner. So it seemed like the cat already knew who she was. But then again, when this other soul was inside of his soul, he sort of knew everything. But there seemed like to be a connection there. I don't know. I feel like I'm hurting my brain a little too much overall on this. So we're just going to end this. But before we go, though, we'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon: Marvin Espinoza, Cruising, Wolverine310, and my good friend Marcus Miller. Thank you guys so much. And with that being said, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about Soul. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, if you want to see past reactions that I've done the other pitch meetings, got a nice playlist right up there full of videos for you. Share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, ring the notification bell because I put up new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.